All right. That's Dave Kittle. I'm Jimmy McKay. Tony Maritato is off today. And by off, I mean he's doing his actual job. Dave, how's it going on this lovely Thursday? Get a little brisk here in the Northeast.
It's getting a little brisk. Feeling great. How are you today?
I'm doing good. We've got some good topics. You were digging online.
That's why I was a little bit late coming on the live show.
I like it. All right. So, one of those things that I liked very quickly, and I want to hear why you put it on the list of things to talk about, was the guy who owns 6 gyms in New York called the Athletic Club. I've never heard about the Athletic Club. But if you own 6 gyms in New York, you must be doing something right. I mean, something. I don't know what it is, but why do you like? Why was this on the list? What do you want to talk about here?
Sure. So this was started during COVID. This was originally free outdoor workouts. Apparently, I listened to a
Oh,
podcast of this guy talking about his company, Athletic Clubs, Dane McCarthy, I think it is. So it's interesting. It's a different model. And I know you used to live in New York City, but let's say you were, back when you were living in New York City, I could join your workout group. It's the same people. So it's Dave, Jimmy, it's Tony Maritata. It's the same 6, 8, whatever, 10 people for, every Tuesday, Thursday at 5 p.m. or every Monday and Friday at 8 a.m., whatever it is. It's the same exact people, which is interesting because it's group fitness, but it's the same folks, not just like Orange Theory. Like every other place is different. Orange Theory, F45, any other hit class is like you have your own schedule, or you go whenever you want, or you don't. And this is genius on in terms of business model because it's going to make people really sticky because I'm going to then learn about Jimmy's family, Tony's family, like their work stuff. Like you get to learn and build relationships more with people. And if that person's sick or late or whatever, then like the company doesn't even have to reach out to the actual gym member because other people are gonna be like, hey Jimmy, like what's going on? Are you sick? Like, did something happen? Like, are you hungover? Like what's going on? Why aren't you here? And it's a unique model that I think would make for a very sticky member to continue to pay month over month, year over year. And so that's probably how they went from, 1 to 2 and 2 to 3 and all that. I love the model. I think it's genius. I'm actually surprised that Orange Theory and all these others don't do the same type of thing.
don't they? They don't do that, or I've never done an Orange Theory class, but I would assume that well, I'd say organically those bonds probably form some places, but this place is it's clearly built around those things.
Exactly. So my wife Annie goes to Orange Theory. Yes, she recognizes some people that are similar. Same type of thing. I used to go to LA Fitness when I was in high school and college, and summers home from college. And if you went to LA Fitness at the same time every that day of the week, all the time, like
Right.
yes, you would see the same type of people. But sometimes you wouldn't, right? You would see other people or whatever. So it's kind of part of some people's gym experience, but it's kind of like a leisurely, like, oh, I saw that person here like 5 times, and then I might say to Jimmy, like, hey, like, what's up, man? Like, I like your shoes, or
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
whatever, whatever. I like your iPod, whatever, whatever. We spark up a conversation. Oh, can I jump in? Can I
Right.
work in here and all that? So it just happens like building relationships at a regular gym or group fitness facility. It just takes longer for the members to meet each other. It's genius in terms of
Yeah.
having your members stay sticky. Then over time you roll that snowball down the mountain and it becomes an avalanche because your original members stay, and then you're marketing and you're getting new members. And also with this company, Athletic Clubs, Ann Malum, the founder of Solidcore, she sold Solidcore, raised a bunch of money, built out Solidcore to like 100 locations, something insane, and she sold Solidcore for like 80, $90 million. She invested in this guy Dane's company called Athletic Clubs, so they've been friends or whatever. And that's the podcast episode that I watched and listened of them two talking about Athletic Clubs. So it's unique and different. I don't understand. I mean, maybe there's a way for us to cross over and like, physical therapy. I know Tony has said some things over the years of like the same types of times of the day or the same days of the week, and you could potentially have some type of a self-pay, group rehab group, I don't know, group self-pay group
So
support group or group, PT or something around, like your dad, like a stroke or Parkinson's or back pain
Right.
or whatever.
So there is in engineering terms, they'd call it a point of failure. There's the point of failure, in my opinion. I think that they should, I agree with you, this should be done. Here's the point of failure why, in my opinion, it won't be done. Because medical, if you break down the word, if you use the Latin roots, I'm only kidding. I have no idea what the Latin roots are medical. Although I did take that in Greek, but that also means hyper personalized, or I should say it feels everything needs to be, we go back to this term that gets thrown on our profession a lot, one-on-one and custom. And I would push back and I go, well, generally, right, we learned in school someone with this condition needs generally these things. I'm not saying that there's not nuance, but I think as soon as you cross over to healthcare and then group, that's where those things kind of, they butt heads. Organizations have done what this guy at Athletic Club is doing successfully before. The first one I experienced was the Team in Training. Are you familiar with Team in Training from the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society?
No.
I want to run the New York City Marathon, but it's a lottery to get in, and I don't really know what I'm doing. Leukemia and Lymphoma Society comes along. They talk to the marathon. They said, give us 100 entries. We're going to go essentially raffle them for charity. Jimmy comes along and goes, I want to do the marathon. Leukemia and Lymphoma Society says, I can get you in. Just fundraise $2,000 for me for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society research. And we'll give you a coach, which is mostly a volunteer. So I have to show up on Saturdays at the National Mall and do my long run of the week with these strangers on week 1. And by week 11, we're texting each other and we're hanging out. So it's embedded in the thing. And then on race day, so Leukemia and Lymphoma Society said, how can I turn these yahoos who are all across the area, who have nothing in common other than they'd like to accomplish something? How could I help them accomplish that? ... and raise some funds. It's the same thing with this business. I mean, that's really, you're going to the gym to get healthy, but there is an aspect, we're all humans. Maybe we're not aiming for it. Personally, when I go to the gym, I'm not necessarily aiming for it, but I have been in clubs, triathlon clubs. I don't like to run with a group. I do like to bike with a group, mostly because biking is long and monotonous and it's better. Misery loves company. So I think you're playing on that where it works. Wasn't there the Lincoln Project? Wasn't that a workout club too? They started working out, I think, during COVID, mass outdoor workouts in the spring and summer of 2020, and I think 2021. Same concept. But this guy now has 6 locations. So he has jumped. He has jumped from, we're just this loose hangout social movement, and now they are brick and mortar. And the thing that stuck out to me was the first 3.5 seconds of the reel that you shared, the Instagram reel, the video you shared with me was, if you hate Instagram, Equinox, you're going to love
Right.
it. And Equinox, if you don't know, their angle is we are the bougiest of bougie gyms in New York City, and our towels smell of lavender, and they are as soft as clouds. And we are, I don't even know what Equinox cost. I'll Google it in a second when I let you talk after going on a rant for 5 minutes, but like not cheap. Wherever they are, not cheap. So these guys essentially, I love the positioning is like, if you like that, you're going to hate us because we are not that. And my ears perk up because I'm like, dude, I would never go to an Equinox personally.
Yeah, and I just love the video that he posted, the one that I share with you guys of like, hey, if you love Equinox, like you're gonna hate us. And
Yes.
if you want all these amenities like a big locker room and
Woo.
like a ton of squat racks and a ton of cardio machines to choose from and space and I don't know, perfect professional lighting and whatever. I don't know what else are there, pools and saunas and things like that in an Equinox. Like what other like kind of like
Yeah.
health and wellness services? Like if you
I've
want that
never
type
been
of
allowed.
stuff, you're not for us. Like you should go there. But if you're looking for, and I forget what he says, but if you're looking for, I don't know, deeper relationships, more accountability, that's the thing that's also super interesting with the whole business model. You can sign up for Orange Theory and you can pick like either you could do unlimited, you could do, you could do 4 classes a month, you could do 8 classes a month, right? So you could do 1 class a week or 2 classes a week. Uh, but if you don't book a workout, at some point, maybe you get like an automated email, probably not. If you don't go to a workout, but you're paying Orange Theory, or if you're paying LA Fitness, or if you're paying Equinox, no one's coming for you. They don't care. They're going to just keep taking your money, just like Planet
For their
Fitness.
business
People that
model.
sign up for, yeah, it's a bit their business model. You sign up for Planet Fitness, it's wildly popular. 90 something percent of people do not even go to Planet Fitness because it's so cheap. It's $10 a month. And I think Alex Hormozy said 92 or some crazy number, like 92% or 90 something percent of people that sign up for Planet Fitness do not go to a Planet Fitness, which is bonkers. Now, this is the opposite. This is like, you have to come. Otherwise, they'll probably kick you out because the intention is to actually come and build rapport, be in the group, build like that camaraderie, almost like a team sport kind of thing, like, high school sports, college sports type of thing. And along the way, you get the accountability, you get kind of like that peer pressure of like, oh, I need to show up, I need to like not stay out late, or I need to get up early and make sure I get there on time. And then guess what? You'll be getting results faster. Like better health, weight loss, if that's your thing, if you're focusing on that muscle mass gain, like whatever it is, you're going to get those results faster because of this whole structure that Dane built. It's
But
fascinating.
why? It's because what's the biggest factor in results?
Accountability.
But the accountability breeds you showing up, consistency. You doing a pretty okay C plus workout 50 times is way better than doing 11 A pluses. It just is. Like this is not my opinion. This is fact. You can check me on the C pluses and the A pluses. $300 a month is what Equinox cost. I was just looking that up. But
Now, it's got to be more in the cities, right? Or is Equinox mostly just in cities? I don't know.
that's just what I searched. It said it ranges between $200 and $300 a month. A month.
Mm.
That's not cheap. But you're buying. People also say, I've heard when I was living in New York, like, oh, Equinox, like either work pays for that, so it's a perk through work, which they're probably bulking
Uh-huh.
it, or
Yeah.
I write it off because whatever I do, I say this is a networking place because it is. Let's face it, like this is very much like a networking place, and
But
that
the same type of thing that we say, like, oh, my insurance covers it or not, like for physical therapy or whatever. If
you
your
have a
work
check.
if your work pays for Equinox, you're paying for it somehow, right? You're
Correct.
paying with your time being with that company or whatever. Even if it's complete
I'll take the extra.
100%.
I'll take the extra $300 a month in my check, and I'll put a squat rack in my basement. That's what I would do. I mean, but I
Right, but
get it.
the company's going to say no. We're not going to give you $300 extra. It's
Correct.
either you get a free membership, because they probably get volume based discounts or something. Anyway,
So what do you think the real hangup is? Was I right? Like as soon as it becomes medical, saying group makes us feel like we're not specific and we're not laser focused on the person in front of us. But like all the research and a lot of things that I pay attention to have said like, hey, yeah, getting people to show up is the biggest hurdle. Showing up and completing a plan of care. Looks like group activities lead to, I mean, I would need someone to prove this. This is my feelings, my hopes, and my dreams. Group activities feel like when you sign up, you complete that group activity because of this social construct. Are we ever going to do that? And would it be successful?
the challenge is again, it just goes against the norm of like what every physical therapy practice has always done, which is we're going to treat everyone one on one. They get an assessment, they get an evaluation, they get a
But
treatment plan, a game plan.
couldn't you do both? Couldn't you? Yes, you get an evaluation. I am now saying that you are appropriate for this class instead of I have these three classes based on your evaluation, your personalized evaluation, one on one with Dr. Dave. You're going to be in our number 2 class with a goal to maybe work up to our number 1 class in 6 months. And then there's periodic, hey, number 1, in case of fire, break glass. If there's ever an issue, I'm right here and you talk to me. And then along the way, there's these check-ins. Hey, like every 3 months or month, whatever. You build it into the cake that there's another evaluation, right? We do that. That's called a reevaluation.
I so there's some that do this, like Reload Physical Therapy, like Dr. Ryan Chow here in the city, and there's some other practices
Doesn't
that
doesn't
do.
Rocksteady do it too? Rocksteady, that's whole thing, right? Like
Well,
Parkinson's and
yeah,
boxing.
Rocksteady is all group, boxing, typically kind of formulated around folks with Parkinson's. But I don't like that. Like Rocksteady is just the group fitness boxing. I don't think any physical therapist. I mean, they might be involved in terms of
They
some
are.
instructors, but it was meant to just be like a workout class for
Yeah.
punching and for rotation and all that for folks with Parkinson's. I don't know. There's just not enough. There's not enough practices doing this, and there's always that great virtuous cycle of like if you have folks in a group fitness class that happen to be in a physical therapy office, once some of them get banged up, dinged up, they get some new episode, they wake up with neck pain, whatever it is, they can immediately like schedule that day for like a different. They could go into the fitness class, but then they could also say, "Hey, my neck is painful when I get up out of bed or whatever, or while sleeping." I could schedule an evaluation, maybe continue in the group fitness class, go through physical therapy, get treated, feel better, get right back into the group fitness class, and both are there to feed each other. I don't know why more practices don't do
Well,
it.
this is why practice is open in gyms, right? Or next to a gym or embedded in a gym.
Yep.
So it's like it's yin or yang or yan or ying, right? Like it's a gym in a PT clinic or a PT clinic in a gym. I think the average person doesn't understand the difference. Although I think they understand what a gym looks like better than a PT clinic. It's like, I don't know, rubber bands and Bosu balls in a PT clinic and then heavy stuff in a gym. And I would venture a guess that most PTs would say, like, yeah, we're all that, but we're not. Like, we are a separate thing, and I think that's, I don't know, that feels like a limitation to me. So this guy's doing well because he builds in social bonds. I would love to hear from someone doing this already, and you mentioned a couple people doing this already. I know I've talked about her before. I'll get her to come on the show, but my friend Megan Brown has nothing on her website about physical therapy. She runs a Pilates studio, Pilates and yoga, in one of the most competitive zip codes in the country, one of the most expensive zip codes in the country, Alexandria, Virginia. And she's doing group Pilates, but she's doing it with the eye of a PT, and she's getting people of all sorts of activity types who show up regularly with this. Not as formal, but like these bonds occur, and you feel that. I don't know how many people feel bummed out if they missed their PT appointment, but if I missed a group bike ride when I was training for a race, I did feel like I let someone down. And that's simple to build in, but not easy to build in. You need to create a community where I think most PT clinics are worried about their EHR and credentialing than they are worried about community, because that's the system they work in. I'm not poo-pooing either side. I'm saying it's a great idea, but it's not easy to accomplish right off the bat.
Yeah. So in terms of pricing, I'm trying to find the pricing for so and the website is the-athletic-clubs.com. And I asked ChatGPT for the pricing, but it pulled up the old historical New York Athletic Club, which
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
that was a different brand and a different
Well, I
string
remember
of
when I
larger
first
gyms.
moved to New York. When I first moved to New York as an adult, I was like, I need a gym, and let's look at gym prices in New York. And it really was like low, medium, high. And it was like New York Athletic Clubs was like, I think on the lower end. Equinox was the high end, and I lucked out because I had a JCC, I had a Jewish community center in my neighborhood. Like I didn't even like telling people about it because I was like, don't ruin this little secret for me. It was, in my opinion, as good as Equinox.
and
Um,
and never full.
I wouldn't say never full, but yeah, definitely
So,
not like busting at the gills. But it had a pool. That was the thing. I was a swimmer, so I was like, I needed to have a pool. And there was like one New York Athletic Club that had a pool, and I had to go like 30 blocks. So people were like, "Where do you work out?" I'm like, I'd never like to tell them because it was the best kept secret in New York for me. It was the JCC on the Upper West Side, 75th or something like that. The pool overlooked Central Park. Like
beautiful.
I'd like be breathing between sets and like looking at Central Park. That was I didn't like telling people that because it was a gold mine. Um, I
Which
don't know.
was that the one on the west side?
West Side, 75th.
Yeah.
Yep, beautiful building. Yeah, awesome. Don't go there because I don't want to ruin it for the other people that work there. It was awesome. Is this the future? I don't know, man. I graduated in 2016, almost 10 years ago, and I feel like this would make business. Take off your PT hat. Would this make business sense if you had a brick and mortar clinic?
This
Would
whole group fitness dynamic.
Like, wouldn't this be good to like beta test or like intrapreneur and say, okay, for the next 12 months, you over there in the corner, your job is to get one group of 5 people to show up 5 times and see how many times you can do that. And what are the elements that you have to play with? None of the elements have to do with anatomy or physiology. Everything has to
I
do with psychology.
and if we're going to engineer it, I think the first thing you say. So with athletic clubs, it's like you would work, you and I or whoever the group, we would work out like the same time every Tuesday, Thursday, or the same time every Monday, Wednesday. So yes,
Yeah.
if you had like if your physical therapy office, if you had, 5 to 10 patients that you're trying to, launch this, you say to them like you have to come. Like they're, unless you're sick or whatever, you're not feeling well, ill, whatever, of course. But the intention is like you're gonna get text messages from every other group member like saying where are you, what's going on, or whatever, like why are you sick, or are you sleeping in, or why are you being lazy or whatever,
I mean,
and getting that like group accountability. I think if you started with that and you said it's the same people every single time, and you kind of build it around that, I think that's literally, I think this is how Dane started it. It was like free workouts outside during COVID,
right.
and then they eventually tightened it up in terms of like, I don't know, the brick and mortar first, or it was the squads out, outside. It was the same people that came, every day and time, same time and every day, the same day of every week. And then they moved into brick and mortar. I'm not sure which one came first there, but either way, like it seems like it makes it super sticky. So for any physical therapy practice that wants to add this, why wouldn't you say, yeah, you take five of your most, avid patients, clients that want to have the accountability and
I feel,
relationship building in your office, boom, that's how you do it.
I want to flesh this out, but I want to find a psychologist because I think we have the fitness aspect down and we know what the result wants to be. It's the how do we get there that's the problem. You mentioned the word sticky. Did you ever read the book by the Heath brothers, Made to Stick?
No.
Essentially, it's like it's a marketing book, but it explains why some things stick around and why some things don't, why people grab onto things and why people don't. I think it's exactly that. You have to make this sticky. And I think there are things you can do on purpose, thoughtfully, that you can bake into the cake, right? My cake analogy is like if you forget to put sugar in the cake batter and you were called for a cup of sugar, you bake the cake, you pull it out of the oven, you realize you forgot the sugar. You could put 10 times the amount of sugar on top of the cake. Cake's still going to taste like crap. You have to bake it in there from the beginning. So some gamification things I think would be good. If you tell me we're going to work out forever, that's hard to get involved. If you tell me that the goal is general fitness, I feel like that's hard. Everything I've ever done has been around a marathon or a triathlon. It's a thing. I know exactly what the event is going to be. I know I sort of like it or I want to achieve it. I know the time and date. I know how long between now and then. It feels digestible. It feels like I'm signing up for this, what, forever? It's ambiguous. What does that also sound like? Physical therapy. How long do I do this? Well, got to move. I have to do these exercises forever. I have to do these. How many times have you heard that question? Do I have to do these exercises forever? And you're sort of like, meh, you sound like Jay Leno. Kind of, yeah, kind of.
I mean, yeah. If you want to stay away from this back pain that got you here in the first place, and you
Right.
want to also
But
live
that's the
healthier, sleep
thing.
better,
That's the thing that it's hard to like get someone to want to jump on that. I don't know. Like that's where I think like Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, the team in training, or other organizations have stolen this model of fundraising for fitness or fundraising to like get into an event you can't get into with a side door. I love gamification. I would love to see if someone has done this already, because like whenever we think we've had this like purely original idea, like someone's like, yeah, 9 people have done this already. So I'm not trying to steal an idea someone's done. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear where it failed or where it succeeded, like almost do a how I built this. But I think a psychologist, I don't even know what kind. I'm going to call my buddy Jamie. He's my go-to question guy for psychology. I'll ask him what the elements are or if he knows who to talk to.
So I sent you a DM of the page of membership details for athletic clubs, and it is $295 every 4 weeks. So it's comparable to
Same,
Equinox.
same.
So you could potentially, I mean, but I tell you what, if you get if you're looking for results, this is the fast track to results. Like with the accountability and the group fit, like the group accountability, the same folks, you have to show up. It's a little more geared around that, as opposed to you take the same $295, you go to Equinox, you pay Equinox, they charge your card every 4 weeks, every month, $295. No one's going to care if you show up to Equinox or not. No one's going to care if you're using the pool or not, right? So what do you think of this with their membership details?
So I'm looking at it cold, first time, how it works. I love this part of the website. Let me get rid of this. All right. So how it works. If you can't explain how your thing works in 3 steps or less, you are stupid or your thing is dumb, right? And this, I'm looking at you, physical therapists. It's like, sign up, tell us what insurance you have, find a schedule. When does it end? Like, I don't know how it works. So how it works, you choose a location. And I would love if they had their locations like right there, but they don't. They are at the bottom. He doesn't have 6 gyms in New York. Looks like he's got 8 now. So that's a difference. So he's opening up. So how it works, choose a location, find your squad. That's a cool element. That's people based and not a thing based. And then start training.
And it's unique. This is unique to them, the word
Correct.
squad.
So I like everything about the how it works session of the website. Chef's kiss. Here's what I don't love. What's included: squad training, run club, and coaching specific. These are all features, not benefits. I would love for them to talk about benefits. Do you understand what I mean? Like squad training 2 times a week. I'd love to hear the fact that it's like, I just have to show up and someone's going to like show me what to do with people that are like me. Like, figure out a way to say that cleanly. So I think that this is a features list and not a benefits list. So I would give this like a B-. This what's included: squad training 2 times a week, specific and personal coaching, regular check-ins. Okay. So there's that reevaluation part of what a physical therapist could do with this. Squad WhatsApp support group, community events and groups, and additional classes Friday through Sunday, because they're offering Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, just like Dave suggested. So I'd give this a B-. I'd love to talk more about the benefits and less about the features, but I get it, because then they follow with this: membership details. It's not that I don't like talking about features in a list. I like that too. I like how they did this. But if you're going to give me a list of features, give me some benefits above that to lead me to the features. Give me the what, then the how. And this is a very clear list of how. So yeah, like you said, $295 a month. Each little squad, Tay and her squad, is just 20 people or less. So I see I'm in a little bit of group. Listen, I can commit to 2 days a week. That feels very tangible. It's not just every day. I can commit to Monday, Wednesday because my schedule works around that. Dude, how long are these things? Spells it out. 55 minutes, right? Lets me know what training style it is. There is run athletic training plans eventually. So this is time of day. It shows, oh, look at that. That's weird. Time of day on their website. It's in white text on white. So it's morning and evening. I don't know if that's on purpose. If I want to get on that, because that's creepy.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that is, but
so,
yeah.
I mean, this idea, you, as a physical therapist, like, we didn't mean this to be a steal this strategy session, but why wouldn't you steal this? Like, steal this exact thing. Be open about it. We're doing this exact thing, except you get someone who has a degree in physical therapy to do that. Like, why wouldn't you just steal exactly this? I think it's ego.
And another great idea for this physical therapy practice that's watching to potentially implement this, you could also have, depending on your hours of operation, you could have a morning class before you open. You could have an evening class after you close, treatment hours, patient hours. And those hours of operation are typically generating $0 for your practice. And then the morning and the evening class of this version in a physical therapy office could now be generating whatever dollars, and all that would be not straight profit. There's maybe some overhead of like the instructor or some of
No.
admin.
So let's spitball this. I already thought of that because I knew where Dave was going. Dave owns let's just switch it. Dave owns a brick and mortar clinic now in New York City. He's thinking like, hey, maybe I could make more money just having one. All right, we're going to do classes just like you said, before working hours. We'll say before 8 a.m. So it's going to be 7 to 8. And then you close at 6. It's going to be 6 to 7. Dave, how many PTs do you have right now at Concierge Pain Relief?
5.
Okay. You have to pick one to host the morning and one to host the evening. You don't have to say their names, but put them in your mind. Their first objection is going to be like, hold on a minute, now I got to do this. But they're interested. You're going to say, my suggestion, I'm going to rev split this with you. It's a beta test. I have a baby and I got other stuff to do. So Dave's not doing this.
I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. Yeah.
But you're going to do it for 6 months and I'm going to rev split this with you 50-50. Would you do that? Would you rev split this with your clinician after costs?
Sure, why not?
So
It's just extra cream.
Free money. And if it takes off, this will now be part of your job, because if it takes off after 6 months, and I'm seeing profit on this, yeah, I'll take, you're showing up an hour early, I'll let you leave. This is going to replace some of your treatment, is what I'm saying. Because our job is actually not treatment. Our job is to run a business. Treatment is how we do it, right? It's just a how, not a what. We're running the business because we're here to make money. Because if we don't make money, this is, again, we've talked about this. If we don't make money, we can't buy cornflakes. We can't pay mortgages or rent. But we can do that in a great way. So what other detractors, what are the reasons to not at least try this? If you already had the clinic, because I'm not going to say to Dave, invest in a space. That would be too much of a risk. But you already have the clinic. What are other things that I'm not thinking about? Because this can't be this simple. What are things that I'm not thinking about? How would you get your first 5 people to be in this person's squad? Current clients, I'm guessing.
Current patients, current clients. It might help if you grabbed, 3, 4, 5 of them, ask them to, speak or say, hey, well, I don't know, we'll pay you for your time, or can we have like a meeting? Can I pitch you something? Maybe it's just impromptu. Maybe it's like,
Oh, I
hey,
would do it impromptu.
the three you three that happen to be here, right? I have an idea, and each of you kind of mention like you love coming, you love the, I don't know, the accountability of like a schedule and someone booking appointments, and you like that this is on your calendar. You said that you look forward to coming here, you like the atmosphere, you like the culture, whatever. So you have to kind of self-select like who is kind of already a person that's kind of eager for your service, the core physical therapy service. And then, assuming maybe in the beginning, like you might want to have some folks that like they already kind of get along, right? So like folks that are doing their exercises and being, they're treated in the office, they've already maybe met each other, they said hello, whatever. You get those folks together, and that would be your first maybe 3 to 5
You
members or to test this.
you have intimate knowledge about these person's physical capabilities, and because that thing we love to tout so much, we spend so much time. I know more about my patients than some of their family members do. And they trust you. They know, like, and trust you. Hey, we've got this thing that we're going on, and I feel like you might be a good fit. You're pitching this. Listen, I'll let you do it for $1 for the first month. $1 for the first month. The goal is to do it in 3-month increments, right? I say you recruit internally first, and then you use them to recruit, because friends like friends. After they do it and they like it, make them do it and like it first. I think the mistake is, got any friends? Got any friends? Too soon. Red flag, too soon.
And absolutely a great idea to charge them even more than $1
Right.
potentially.
Some sort of amount.
Charge them up front before it even starts, because if everyone says no, like something's wrong. Either your
Correct.
messaging, you pitched incorrectly, or it's just something that your consumers, your clients may not want, or again, or you didn't phrase it properly or well enough or whatever.
When I threw Party with a Purpose, was a charity party at CSM 2 years ago, someone said, how'd you design this? I said, I threw a party that I would actually want to pay $200 to go to. I would pull $200 cash out and go, yeah, I'm going to get enough liquor, dancing, vibe, food out of this to take my money. I think if you design, this is where I say, don't design it for anybody else except for yourself. So you talk to somebody on your staff who's a runner, and you go, what would be the dopest, no holds barred, the dopest run club that you've ever done? We're going to do that. It doesn't need to cost, it doesn't need to be 1,000. It doesn't need to be something that you throw a ton of money at. People can get that already. They have Amazon. They have Spotify. We have Google and AI. We have access to all the information, all the products at our fingertips all the time. The thing we ironically don't have is connection to real humans. It's so dumb, but it's simple.
And to expand off of the connection to real humans, squad workouts here, 55 minutes plus 15 minutes for coffee. We finish every workout with coffee and a bit of banter.
So you get
So
it.
you're building community. You're 15 minutes or so, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, 20 minutes of even more of the relationship building, even more of the integration of members to each other,
Dude,
and building that sticky group where they never leave. They continue because they're getting benefits, because they're getting physical benefits, but then they might also be getting emotional benefits
oh,
because of learning about other neighbors and colleagues and friends, and oh, you work at that company, I used to work there, or oh, you that type of role, I I work in that type of role, but in a different company or whatever. Or you live in, you live over this neighborhood. I live, we live nearby. We're close by, or I have a friend in that building, whatever. So you, there's the relationship component to this that is just beyond genius.
It's also internal. Here, I am someone different than just the guy at the office. I'm different than mom at home. Like here, I'm an athlete. It's very different. So I went from being a competitor, or sorry, a fundraiser and a competitor for Team in Training. That's why I speak so highly of them. I used to cheat though. I worked for a radio station, dude. I was done with my fundraising in like 3 days. Like it was awesome. I was like, I'll get into these races. I'll give you airtime for 5 days on my show. Here's the link to the website, and I'd raise all this money. I wound up being a coach. When I got into PT school, my professor, Sky Donovan, was one of the run coaches in DC. She's like, oh, I see you have a shirt with Team in Training. And I was like, yeah. She's like, come be a coach. I'm like, okay. And I saw how devastatingly simple it was to create a team. You have to act like it is a team first. You can't wait for the team members to like come up with how the workouts or how the team's going to operate. You also can't demand it. Like you essentially have to set it up, and then within these bounds, listen, we expect you to be running. These are the 3 runs. We're going to map out for you 3 runs a week from where you are. And then we're going to get together one group, long run together. We picked dope locations. We'd run on the National Mall. We'd run on these cool trails in DC, like build it into the cake. What's the kind of workout I'd want to do? I want to go cool places. I don't want to run in a dump. Like, great, send me out to the National Mall. We're going to go run out, on the point near the airport with stunning views of the Potomac. Build it in there, but only a runner would know that. That's what happens when you put a non-runner in charge of a run club or a non-fitness professional in front of a fitness class. So this needs the right elements of the cake the whole time, in my opinion. But if you do it, I don't know. A buddy of mine I just saw online, he started a run club at a clinic right down the street. Brilliant. Maybe I'll check in with him in a couple of months to see if it's still going. Cause I see a lot of people start these and then they fade because it's simple to do, but not easy. Cause you're cultivating culture. You're cultivating experience. And we think we set that up and then we just let it run on itself. No. The whole thing is fueled by this vibe, by accountability. You have to be just as accountable as the group. We used to say in radio, if you want someone to feel the emotion of an 8 out of 10, you have to give them a 15. That's why like Broadway actors are like over the top. Yeah, they got to make you feel it in the back row. That same concept is delivered here as well. I've got like a few minutes left. We got a few. I got to help a buddy with a press conference today. That's why I have like a good shirt on.
Let's wrap early because I think we had some other topics, but like I think we hit this pretty well.
I think the Jared Hall one is good. I want to talk about that. I think Tony
it's good. That's good. It's good with Tony. Yeah.
So we'll talk about Jared Hall, who we did the Oxford debate together. He was on my team for the Oxford debate. So maybe we'll have Jared on after we should talk about it, and then if there's deeper, we'll bring Jared Hall on. So parting shots. What would you have for parting shots today?
Parting shots is like this. Literally like the reason why we put this on the show and we talk about other things like this on the show is like there's so many fascinating business models out there. There's so many aspects to other business models that we can all incorporate and use. And why not just test it? Like, what's the worst case scenario? Like, if it stops and fails or it doesn't work, or you try to tweak it and relaunch it or whatever. Like, all this is about helping more of your patients and clients, helping more of your community members, plus helping more of your team members, your staff make more money, and your practice make more money. And if our practices and companies can make more money, we can help and serve and impact more people. So it's like, why not do this? So by talking about this, even Tony is not here, but even if he was here, like this is the type of thing that we would all sit down, 2, 3 of us, we would talk about this behind the scenes privately anyway. And we're just putting this out there. So hopefully if there's owners out there with PT clinics, if you add in things like this, we would love to hear your feedback. Like, what's the business model? What are the components of it? How's it going? Is it easy? Is it challenging? What are the wins? Anyway, we would love to hear your feedback if you start implementing any of this.
I think Tony would say he does this organically already when he finds a few patients that seem Tony's like the is it a yenta? Isn't that the term? A yenta, the matchmaker, like a Jewish matchmaker, like the woman who like
I think so.
Like,
I think so.
that guy and this girl, that we put them together, they're gonna make beautiful babies. He's like a yenta in his clinic. He puts these people together. I think he does this organically, one-off, when he sees it, because he's been doing this for so long. He sort of can see what it looks like 3 months. But if you put some intent behind it, we don't have to guess that it's going to work. It works for these organizations, many of them that we listed today, and many that we probably didn't. I would love to hear who we didn't mention, or if you're doing it. So I would say, if you think the current model of your clinic is the only way it can be done, you're wrong. And if you think reimbursement's going to get better, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here? We have to argue that. You either do something different or you go extinct. And I'm not saying this is it, but I'm saying it needs to be something like this. So we're going to have a good weekend. We'll have Tony back on Tuesday. Well, let's touch on this just a little bit and see if we can get Tony's take. And then we can bring up that Jared Hall post and talk about that, which I think is very interesting.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Dave Kittle. Oh, yeah, my Yankees lost. So we're all out of the playoffs now.
Phillies won last night. They have to now win 2 in a row, which is a steep order, but we'll see. We're still in it.
Trey Turner. So smooth. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for listening to the show.